and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sophie, or the Flying Fit Foodie if you found me from Instagram. Today we're going to be focusing on the glutes in today's class. So it's more of a Pilates inspired class. We're definitely going to be working on our strength. This is going to be a condensed class that I taught from earlier in the week. So it was an hour's class, but I've managed to squeeze everything into about 25 minutes. So I really hope you enjoy the flow. You will need only one thing. You will need your block and obviously some space around you. Hopefully you don't get disturbed. If you need a soundtrack, you can find one of the soundtracks down below. We're going to get started lying on our backs. Place the block over to one side. Have your feet out towards the front of the mat. Allow yourself to lie down on the floor. Bring the knees in together and then take the feet out to the outside edges. You can bring one hand onto the belly and one hand onto the heart space if that feels comfortable, or you can leave your palms just facing up towards the sky. Take what you need in these first few breaths from the space around you. Close the eyes if that feels okay. Just start to feel grounded now. Finding a bit of lightness with every inhale, and then with every exhale just melting down towards the floor. Starting to lengthen every inhale and exhale now. Feeling the cool air move in through the nose, filling up the belly like a balloon, letting the hand rise to the ceiling. As you exhale, hand drops towards the floor, belly sinks in. Take 2 more breaths just like that, inhaling deeply. Exhaling completely. Setting yourself a little mantra or your sankalpa for today's class. Maybe find some strength in your day, or it can simply just to be present for the next 20 minutes or so. Not letting any distractions physically come into the space around you or into your mind. Take one more breath here. Really filling up the lungs with air. Exhale, release. Good. Slowly open the eyes, blink them open. You can walk the feet in towards one another. And just reach down so you can touch your heels with your fingertips. We're going to immediately set up into our glute bridge. So first, aligning the spine. I want you to tuck the chin slightly in. Draw the ribs in by just activating the core. You'll notice your tailbone automatically wants to kind of tuck under a little bit. Just needs to be pointing down. It doesn't need to come all the way under, just so that we create that nice neutral pelvis. From here, take the weight into both of the balls of the feet, squeeze the glutes, hands can come to the side or onto the thighs, wherever they feel comfortable. Lift the hips up towards the sky, keeping those glutes nicely activated. So you should find yourself in a nice line from your knee, hip to your shoulder. Take a breath here, keep activating through the glutes. You should feel your quads start to working as well. So making sure we're not coming up into a back bend, taking the hips up, feeling that compression in the lower spine. You want to stay active through the glutes to keep that lovely long straight line here. Good. As you exhale, let's release all the way down, one vertebrae at a time. When you're ready, you can reach over and grab your block. We're going to take the block between the knees. Most of you should be okay with the block at this side, or you can take it into a different width depending on how wide your hips are. You want to be squeezing the block almost as though I was about to come and pull it from between your legs, so be really active. Again, taking the same position as before, draw that last rib in, really activate the core here, squeeze the glutes, and then lift the hips up towards the sky. Keep squeezing that block together so the outside of our glutes are switched on now. Good. Holding here for 1, 2, keep squeezing. Imagine someone's pulling the block from between your legs. And 3, exhale, release all the way down. Let's go for 5 pulses of those. If you're not feeling too much activation in the glutes, you can play around your foot position, maybe walking the heels in or turning the toes slightly out. When you're ready, fully exhale. Inhale, come up for 1. Exhale, come down. Good. Draw the ribs in, coming up. 2. Exhale down, keep squeezing that block together. Inhale up. 3. Exhale down. 2 more. Inhale, 1. Exhale down. Inhale up and squeeze and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slowly, 1 vertebrae at a time, rolling back down onto the floor. Good. Releasing the block away now. Walking the feet slightly into the center of the mat. Again, checking your alignment, making sure your ribs aren't flaring out, drawing those last ribs in, so base of the middle of the spine is pressed into the floor. Take the weight into the right foot, bring the left knee in towards the face. You can have your palms facing down for this one. Roll the shoulders slightly back and down. From here, you can either extend that left leg up towards the ceiling or keep the leg bent, whichever feels more comfortable for you. Same cues apply. We're just going to go into a single leg glute bridge, so pushing through the ball of the front foot, lifting up towards the sky. Squeezing that glute on the right side, lifting the toe if it's stretched up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, let's come all the way back down again. Let's take 5 of those. Inhale, come up. 1. Exhale down. Inhale, 2. Coming down. 3. 4, making sure that right glute's nice and active so your right knee isn't falling into the center of the mat. Almost want it to be going towards the outside of the mat. Good. Exhale, come down, dropping that foot down to the floor. Swapping sides, maybe walking that left foot slightly in, finding the midline of the mat. Extend that right leg or keep it bent, whichever is better for you. Palms down, squeeze the glutes, last rib comes in, push the floor away, toe up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale up. 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, coming all the way back down to the floor. Bringing the knees in close to the chest, stretching out the glutes a little bit here, massaging the spine, rolling from side to side. Good. From here, we're going to rock all the way to the front of our mat, so coming into a bit of a shoulder stand, bringing the feet to place at the front of the floor. Instead of coming to standing, we're going to come into our malasana though, so our yogi squat. So when you're ready, find that position, lurching up, keeping the hips nice and low. You can walk the toes so they're pointed slightly out, bringing the hands to prayer, lifting the heart up towards the thumbs, using the elbows to draw the knees apart. Feeling that stretch, maybe this is the first time you've taken your squat today. It definitely is for me, so I'm feeling a little bit tight in the hips. That's okay, we're going to play around this movement here. From here, let's take the left hand down, sweep the right hand up, come into a spinal twist. Exhale, release, switching sides. Right hand comes in front of the right knee, left fingertips reach for the sky. Here we come all the way back down again. From here, let's take that squat a little bit up. I want you to turn on the outside edges of your glutes. We're going to take the knee to the outside on the right side and the left side. So we're really working our glute med here. And really opening up that knee to the right side. You should really feel a nice burning to the outside of the glutes. 1 more each way. Try to keep the hips still and release. Forward fold, heel toe the feet in together. Relax the head down towards the feet now. Softening the knees as much as you need to allow the belly to come down onto the thighs. Shaking the head, yes or no. Let's take an inhale, halfway lift. Flattening out the back, gaze comes forward. Draw the last rib in, really engage the core here, protect the lower back. Exhale, come down, forward fold. Inhale, roll all the way up to standing. 1 vertebrae at a time. Sweeping the hands out to the side, bringing the hands up towards the ceiling. Maybe interlacing the fingers or taking Kali Mudra with the hands. Squeezing the glutes here, try to find your nice long straight line. Exhale, swan dive all the way down. Heart leads the way as you drop down towards the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands to come to shins, tops of thighs, or point the fingertips up behind you. Exhale all the way down. Planting the hands down onto the floor. Taking that left foot back, followed by the right foot coming into our tabletop position. Taking a moment here to set up, hands underneath the shoulders, knees stacked underneath the hips. From here, finding your neutral spine position. So maybe take some mini cat-cows until you find neutral. Stay active through the shoulders here. Good. Let's bring our right knee into the midline of the mat. Squeezing our left glute. Let's keep that left foot nice and active. We're going to draw that knee up to the outside, trying to keep the hip nice and level so we're not coming into a back bend or being unaware of what we're doing. We're trying to keep our core down, push the ground away, coming into a lovely active fire hydrant position here, keeping that left foot flexed. Draw the belly in. Good. From here, bring that knee in again to the center of the mat. Let's take it out to the side again for 5. And down. 4. 3. 2. Try to keep the rest of the body as still as you can. And 1. Exhale, release it down. Good. Take a moment here. Staying on that same side, let's bring that knee back out to the side again. This time we're going to straighten our leg and send it about 45 degrees. From here, push the ground away. Make sure you're not sagging into the front shoulders. The front of the body, the shoulders. Point the toe, and let's take a nice big kick, trying to keep your back in a neutral position. So rather than compensating, trying to find a big kick, moving the spine. We need to keep the spine neutral, core engaged, less mobility, but really working the glutes here. Good. So you might find you can't really make a big kick when you're keeping the spine and the hips as still as you can, and that's okay. Should really be feeling the glutes firing on now, and feeling also the right glute as it supports you in the hip. Let's go for 2 more. So 1 over, 1 back, 1 more over, 1 more back. Good. And releasing it down to the side of the floor. Taking that on the other side, finding that neutral spine position, walking the left knee slightly into the middle of the mat to support you. Push the ground away with the shoulders. Let's flex that right foot. Take that right knee out to the side. Good. Noticing if one side feels a little bit tighter than the other, turning on the outside of that right glute. Let's bring that knee back in, raising it up for 1, 2, 3, staying strong in the core, 4, keeping that foot flexed, 5, good, and releasing it down. Brief moment here, taking it back out to the side again, pointing the toe 45 degrees, push the ground away, active through the core, active through that leg, nice and straight. Let's kick it out to the side, to the left side of the mat, squeezing that glute for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 more of those. Coming all the way back around, keeping that nice and still. The core, good. Bringing the knees into the center of the chest. Walk the hands forward, take the knees nice and wide, come into a child's pose. Feeling some warmth in the hips now. Good. Let's keep the pace up. Let's roll forward, bring the hands underneath the shoulder tips once more. Tucking the toes under. Let's come up into our first downward facing dog. Pedaling out the heels, taking as much time now as you need to warm up the hamstrings. Good, gazing forward, let's tiptoe all the way to the top of the mat. So tippy toes are behind the heels of the hands. Rock down into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, straightening out the legs, straighten out the back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Hands can come out to the side or straight in front of you. Fingertips come together. Find that nice long straight line. Squeeze the glutes. Good. And release. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, come all the way down to the floor. Hands can come down to support you as you're jumping back, or option to come back through, stepping through. Always option to drop onto the knees if you need to for your first chaturanga, or keeping the knees floated off the mat. Take your choice. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, Coming up into your upward facing dog, squeezing the glutes here. Maybe take the weight forward into your fingertips if you're feeling your lower back crunching. Push the ground away, downward facing dog. Good. From here, let's bring the toes together to touch. Let's take the right leg all the way up to the sky. Bending the leg, scorpion tail, opening up to the side, drawing nice big circles. Using that newfound activation in your right glute to really make the circles as big and controlled as you can. Changing direction. Once you've done a few each way. Good. Coming to stillness in your scorpion tail, making sure your shoulders are as level as possible, pushing evenly through both hands. Gaze forward, bring the knee in towards the chest, squeeze and hold here. When you're ready, exhale, release the foot between the hands. Coming into your high lunge, so we're going to bring your fingertips down to find that balance. Draw that core belly away from the thigh. Inhale, roll up to standing. Back foot is nice and strong, so high up on the ball of the back foot. Good. Draw that belly in. Imagining your thighs are drawing together, so you really want to feel nice and active here. Squeezing both of the glutes. Right glute stops your right knee from falling in, so really make sure that's nice and active, and then your left glute is going to assist this stretch in the front of your hip flexor here. So both are doing different things, but both are lovely and active. Good. From here, let's soften that back knee. Take an inhale breath here. Exhale, float that knee down towards the floor, just so it lightly touches. Inhale, come up for 5. Exhale down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Staying with that front leg bent for a moment. Good. Bring the hands to the heart center. Let's take it forward into our warrior 3. So back foot is strong and active. Imagining kicking that back wall. Drop that left hip down slightly if you notice. Tends to skew off to the side. Collarbones level to the front of the mat. Good. Staying focused on something that's not moving in front of you. Pausing here. Good. When you're ready, we're going to land very gently into our warrior 2 stance. Hands come out to the side. Straight away, we're straightening that front leg skandasana to the back of the mat. Stay nice and high. Even if you know you're flexible, you can come all the way down. I want you to stay high. I want you to work into this left glute here. Lift the chest a little bit more if you can. 1, 2, maybe go a little bit lower. Good. 3. Beautiful. Exhale, right hand comes down, framing that left foot. Sweep that left hand all the way up towards the sky. Come into a twist. Beautiful. Dropping that left hand down towards the floor now. Framing that left foot. Stepping the left foot back into your plank position. Option to drop to the knees or full chaturanga. Exhale down. Pause with the bent elbows. Squeeze the core. Inhale, lift up. Lengthen into your upward facing dog or your cobra, wherever you are. Squeeze the glutes. Exhale, push the ground away. Taking that in the other direction now. Take an inhale breath here. Exhale. Big toes come together to touch. Sweep the left leg up towards the sky. And come to that scorpion tail as you exhale, drawing those nice big circles. Activating that left glute to find that extra bit of range in the circle. Good. Switching sides now. Trying to draw as big as controlled circles as you possibly can. Moving into your active range of motion. Last breath. Move that weight forward. Shift the shoulders over the wrists. Bring the left knee with you. Squeeze the core. Push the ground away. Really protract the shoulders. Release the foot between the hands. Come up onto your fingertips. Engage the core. Sweep the hands up towards the sky. Finding your balance. Softening that back leg a little bit here. Good. Again, remembering why you're switching on that left glute. So your left knee is not going to come in. And then your right glute is assisting that stretch in the front of the hip flexor here. Good. One more breath. Softening that back knee. Let's take an exhale. Dropping that knee down towards the ground. Inhale, come up for 1. Exhale down for 2. 3. 4, good. We're not straightening that front leg when we come all the way up. We're still keeping a bend in it, good. Holding here, bringing the hands to the heart center. Let's take that gaze forward. Weight comes into that front foot. Kick that back leg up towards the front of the mat now. Maybe drop the chest down parallel to the floor. Staying with the breath. Nice and active with that right glute to form that beautiful straight line. Good. One more breath here. As you exhale, stepping back to warrior 2 stance, straight away, pivot that back foot, straighten the front leg towards the back of the mat now, coming into our Skandasana. Again, not relying on our passive flexibility, staying nice and active here, really working into that right glute, left hamstrings getting a nice stretch. 2 for 1, 2, maybe go a little bit lower, 3, left hand comes down, frames that right foot. Sweep that right hand up towards the sky. As you exhale, framing that front foot, stepping that right foot back, coming into your plank position. Exhale, bend elbows, push the ground away. Inhale, roll up, upward facing dog. Exhale, press the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Good. Bring those toes together to touch once more. Let's take that right leg up towards the sky. This time keeping it nice and straight. So we're leveling out the hip, drawing that right hip down, drawing the last rib in, so we should be in a lovely long straight line. Doesn't matter where your leg necessarily is, doesn't need to stretch all the way up, otherwise you'll tend to come into a back bend. So really be aware of what that right hip is doing. You're going to need to squeeze that right glute to find that activation. From here, we're going to tap our toe down to the floor. Inhale up for 1. Exhale down. 2. 3. 4. Good. 5. Let's go for 5 more. Your left heel doesn't need to be on the floor. It can be lifted. 7. 8. Stay in control with the pulses. 9. 1 more. 10. And release that right foot down. Meeting the left foot. Good. Wiggle out the heels, wiggle out the hips. Let's take that on the other side. Sweep that left foot up towards the sky. Draw the ribs in. Find that long straight line of hand, shoulder, hip, foot. Again, right heel can be lifted if that's more comfortable for you. Squeezing that left hip, that left glute, so the left hip is level with the right. Exhale, tap that foot down to the floor. Squeeze that left glute. Let's take it up to the sky for 1. Down. 2. 3. 4. 5. 5 more. 6. Try not to come into a back bend. 7. Feel the glutes burning. 8. Last 2. 9. Last 1. 10. Good. Releasing the feet down towards one another. Good. Let's come into a bit of a stretch. Bring the right knee in towards the center of the chest. Pick that foot over the top of the knee, coming into our downward facing dog figure 4. Take the chest towards the thighs. Keep that right foot flexed. Stretching into that right glute. 1 breath here. Good. Exhale, roll forward. Unfurl the knee. Let's swap sides again. Roll forward. Bring the left knee. Take that right foot over the left foot over the top of the right thigh. Good. Flexing that foot. See if you can really stretch that left glute. Push your chest a little bit further towards it, staying active in the shoulders. Good. 1 more breath here. As you exhale, bring that knee in. Unroll out. When you're ready, bring that right knee in again towards the center of the chest. Drop the knee down to the back of the right wrist. Left foot comes roughly to the back of the left wrist. And then walk the hands to the sides here. Your front shin does not need to be parallel for the front of the mat. You can take your time here to settle into your pigeon shape. And we all look quite different in the shape, so spend a little bit of time maybe rocking from backwards and forwards. And you can always grab your block and place it underneath your hip if your hips are not level. Check your back leg is in a lovely straight line, so it's not out to the side. That's going to assist your hips becoming nice and level. Good, take a moment here. If you're finding any crunching in your lower back, you can take the weight forward. So coming out of the back bend. So we're not working on a back bend here, we're working to stretch out the glutes. Taking a moment here. Good. You can stay high in your pigeon, or you can drop down onto your forearms if you want to go into a stretch, or if you want to work more on your mobility and the strength. If you've still got any strength left in your right glute, you can take 3 pulses, bringing the hands to the back of your left leg. Take an inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, come down. Inhale, come up. 2 more of those. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Wherever you are, releasing the hands or walking back in underneath the shoulders. And then coming back into your downward facing dog, tucking that left toe under, lifting that right knee up towards the sky, maybe giving your leg a little bit of a shake out, and then swapping sides. So bringing the left knee in, placing it behind the left wrist, left foot goes behind the right wrist, and again walking that back leg back to the back of the mat. Taking your time here, accepting that maybe this side feels different to the other. Again, that's really normal, but it's really good to be aware of it. Generally, we will have one hip that's slightly tighter than the other. Again, choose your battle. If you're coming into your deep stretch, your relaxation, go for it. If you want to work more on your mobility and you've got some juice left in your left glute, obviously if you did the mobility pulses on the right side, please do them on the left side so we stay nice and even. When you're ready, draw the shoulders away from the ears, hands towards the back of the mat. Take an inhale, lengthen here. Exhale, pulse all the way down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, down. Inhale, come up. 1 more of those. Exhale, down. Inhale, come up. Good. From here, you can drop your left hip down. Swing your right leg to the front of the mat. Bring the feet in together. And again, you can finish the practice as we started with the knees knocked in together. Stretching out the sides of the glutes that worked quite hard. Or you can bring your feet, the soles of your feet in together, stretching out your hip flexors a little bit here too. So picking your Shavasana. Of course, you can always have your straight-legged Shavasana, and if you want to take any more poses before the end of the class or repeat any of those flows, please do. Giving yourself a little bit of time now on the mat before you go about your day. Letting go of your last controlled breaths, and then when you're ready, allow the breath to just relax and let go of that control. Letting your body absorb the practice, absorb the movement. Take your time to connect back to that Sankalpa, that mantra that you said at the beginning of the class. And of course, you can stay in your Shavasana for as long as you like, as long as you need. I'll say goodbye to you now and I'll leave you in peace. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope to see you on the mat again soon. Namaste.